Welcome all, welcome to this lab of object-oriented programming, and today we'll be continuing with our programs. So we have done programs up to program number 11. So today we'll start with program number 12. Okay, let me show the disclaimer, then we'll start the session. Okay, so let's start the session now. Okay, and so till now we have seen starting from program number 1 up to program number 11. So today we'll look at program number 12. Write a program that creates a you have to write a program that creates a random object. Okay, what does it create? It should be creating what? It should be creating a random object. Okay, and okay, so we have to write a program that creates a random object with seed 1000. Okay, and displays the first 100 random integers between 1 and 49 using next int and then 49 as a parameter to it. So this method called nextInt has to be used, and we have to use 49. So which will say that we have to generate a random number between 1 and 49 only, and that has to be done by the random object. Okay, so let's see the program now. Okay, so if we see practical number 12, okay, in this practical number 12, you'll see that it's a very small code. Okay, what do we use over here is basically here we use the random class available in java.util package. Okay, and what do? We say random. We give the variable name also as random, starting with small r. So this is a simple variable, and we say new random 1000. Okay. Okay, so in this program, what we do is we create a random object by saying new random and give the seed value as 1000. Okay, so what this random object has to do, check this out. This random, uh, this particular random object has got two types of constructor. One is no argument constructor and one is the seed based constructor. So this seed based constructor basically specifies that you know what this how much this random how much this random class is capable of doing. Okay, so if we see this oops, sorry for that. If we see this particular random class description, it says that it creates a new random number generator. So this generator object has been created using a single long seed. So the seed that we give is of type long. Okay, and the seed is what? What is the seed? Seed is the initial value of the internal state of pseudo random number generator, which is maintained by the method next. Okay, so basically see Basically, this new random seed is equivalent to saying something like this. What? Equivalent to saying random RND equal to new random, creating a random object without a seed, and then setting the seed by saying the calling the method set seed. Okay, and so this is how the random object is created. Okay, and if you see set seed method, that set seed method basically sets the seed as, so this is the random class declaration. You can see this is the random class code. Okay, so we'll not go deeper into this random class code, but this random object is being used. We just know that a random object is being used, and how to use that? Check this out. We'll be generating 100 random numbers through this loop. Okay, and what do we do is in each iteration, take this out, in each iteration we print the random number that has been generated, and we print it using printf statement. You see, yes, this is printf is almost similar to the printf that we use in C programming language. And check this out. What do we print over here? We print here percentage 3b. What do we print over here? We print over here percentage 3b. So it means that you need three spaces in the output that is being generated. Okay, in the output that is being generated, you need three spaces. Okay, and any number that is being generated will occupy, all these spaces, and if it does not occupy all the spaces, then it will have an extra space. Okay. Okay, so now we have question regarding what is the use of this generated random number and what is its real life application. Okay, so let me just show that itself. First, let's see how the program runs, right? Uh, so basically, this particular program generates a random number between 1 to 98. Okay, you might be knowing that we have already used math.random method, right? So this math.random method does what? This generates basically any number between 0.0 to 1.0, all right? Whereas this random class has got the about methods for 5 to 6 methods for specifically creating various different types of values like integer, long, double, and also boolean. So random dot next int we are using over here. Why? Because we want any random number to be generated right now. That is our problem statement requirement. What is the problem statement requirement? That it generates an integers between 1 and 49. Okay, so we generate a random number by saying random dot next int 98 plus 1. Why plus 1? Because see, this next int, what does this next int do? This next int basically it generates any random number starting from 0, which is inclusive, which is included, up to the specified value, but that specified value is exclusive, so it is excluded. So if we have 98, then this will generate the number starting from 0 to 97. Okay, 0 to 97 and not 98. So that's why we just add 1 to this so that we can get number between 1 to exactly 98. So if the generated number is 97, so then the output will be added to with 1 and you will get 98. Okay, so that is what is this particular part does, and prints it into 3 locations. So if you have a number with 2 digits, then 1 space extra will be there. So you don't need to worry about how many spaces to put in for numbers. Okay, you can even say %4d if you want to put extra spaces in the output. And then we check whether this I is divisible by 10 or not, just to put a new print line. If I has started from 1 and it has reached to 10, it means then 10 numbers have been printed. So you just put a print line, that's a new line, println method is called, and we put just a new line. Now see, this when we run this particular program, it will generate random numbers every time. It will generate different random numbers every time. Check this out. Here we have this set of random numbers where the first row is of 10 numbers and the column is also 10 numbers. So there are about 100, actually 100 numbers. Okay, 10 by 10 matrix. It looks like a 10 by 10 matrix, right? And you can see it's the minimum number that we start with is 1. And how many spaces you have? See, after this number's end, you have 2 spaces left and 2 spaces are being occupied by the number, because each and every number is at the max of 2 digits. So you see this consists of 4 spaces. So this is what we mean by saying %4d. %4d means use an integer number and use 4 spaces to represent it, and inside that 4 spaces put the number. So if a number is of single digit, then like this it happens that single digit is occupied and the rest 3 digits are empty. Okay, if the number is of 2 digits, so you can see over here the 2 digits are occupied and the rest 2 digits are empty or spaces. You see, that's what happens. That is how so we don't need to worry about what spaces we have to put. We don't know what number will be generated, right? So we need to put 2 space or 1 space in between these 2 numbers. So that's why we use this %4d in this case. Now you can see the minimum number is 1, and there would be maximum number which would be, here it is, see, 98, right? Not more than that. You can see none of the numbers are more than 98, not even less than 1, right? So this is how the random numbers have been generated. Okay, and now we would ask what is the use of this, right? So you may use random numbers at many places. For example, if you want to generate, let's say you want to generate a randomly password for someone, then you may use this random object to generate random numbers, and after those random numbers you may even create some password, right? So for example, the ASCII character of capital A is 65, right? So you start with 65, and you may end up to the ending number. Into the in between that, you want to generate a random number. Then you can use this random object to generate it, right? So that's what is a random number. Okay, we have already seen in lecture how this changing the seed will affect the random number, right? We had seen this particular example of a random example where we created as random object r1 and a random object r2, and we also tried to put some seed to it over here, and when we run it, when you put same seed, then it would generate the same output. That's what we had seen, right? See, seed 3 generated same output, you see, the same sequence. So we use seed in order to uniquely generate a number, right? And if we don't use the number, it uses current timestamp. So if we don't, if we don't give the seed over here, if we delete the seed from here, and we don't give any seed over here in this and in this also, so it will generate a timestamp according to, it will take the current timestamp and current timestamp at this instance when this statement is executing. So when we run this program, both the objects will generate different random numbers because the timestamp of executing both the statements are different. That's why. Okay. So that is about random numbers. Okay. What did we do? We had to generate a random number between 1 to 49. So we used random dot next int 98. Sorry, we had to generate using 49, right? So we will say 49 over here. Random dot next int 49, right? And now if we run this, see, here we get what? We get minimum number to be 1, right? And the maximum number would be 49, not more than that. Okay. So this is how, here it is, see, 49. So this is how we generate this random numbers. And why do we use random numbers? Because we may need to randomly generate either a number or maybe a sequence we might want to generate and might want to store it somewhere and work on it or something, do something like that. So at those times, random objects or random numbers are very, very much needed. You may want to assign random numbers to some objects or something like that. In those kind of cases, you may use random object, right? You may want to assign kind of make a, you want to make a program where specifically a random number is generated and given to the users, for example a housey game, right? So you can use this random object to make a housey game, right? Understand? So that is the use of random number. Yes, it can also be used in CAPTCHA. That's right, Jayshankar. CAPTCHA is randomly generated. So you can just check out. There are lots of code available online related to generating CAPTCHA. Okay. Uh, so now I think Manish would have understand why we generate random number, right? The random number is generated basically to create any random value, to so that the user gets any separate random unique value, and that value can be used to either generate a character, or it can also be used to give a unique identity to an object or do something like that, right? For example, let's say you might want to let's suppose that you might want to assign random numbers to the objects and accordingly sort the objects, okay, to make a game. Then you might use this random object, right? So this is the use of random numbers. Okay, CAPTCHA is the best example of using random characters. Okay, so that is program number 12. Now if we go to program number 13, program number 13 says write a program for calculator to accept an expression as a string in which the operands and operator are separated by 0 or more spaces. Okay, so we have to accept an expression which is taken as, which is read as a string. The expression is inputted by the user as in the form of a string, and in the since this it's an expression, it would have operands and operator. So see over here, if we are talking about 3 plus 4, then it would say, it would mean that 3 and 4 are operands and this plus is operator. Okay, and you can even have spaces in between, right? 0 or more spaces could be there. So check this out, how to run this particular program. How do we how we have created this particular program? Let's see that. See, in this program, what do? We say, we first get the scanner object called input. Then we say to the user, we send a message saying, please enter valid expression, and we say input.next line. So this will read the expression, okay, in the form of string, and it will give to this exp variable of string type. Now we say given expression is this one, we print the expression first, okay, and then what do we do is, check this out, we start with defining variables. Now why do we need these variables? So check this out. Suppose if I say 3 plus 4, that is my expression. So now this 3 is should be given to one variable, right? So for that we have this a, okay. Similarly, this 4 should be given to some variable, for which this b is there, right? For which this b is there, and the addition of it should be given to some result variable, so for which this answer is there, right? And now we also have a character op. We'll define a character op, which we assign it the value as 1. Now here, basically, here what we have to do is, check this out. Here we first split. Here we first split the expression. On what basis do we split? Here we use a regular expression. This is nothing but a what? This is a regular expression. Okay. And regular expressions specify that if you get a plus or a minus or a multiplication or a division operator, or I mean these characters in the string. So they see backslash means use this plus as it is, compare this plus as it is. Okay. So we say plus if you get any character called plus, any character like minus, any character like multiply, and any character like this divide, then you have to split the string depending on that. So what happens? See, check this out. If I give the string to be like this, 3 space plus space 4. So this much is the string, right? And how many characters does the string have? String has character 3 as 1, then this space is another character, then this plus is another character, and then again there is a space which is another character. So it has got, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters inside this string. Okay. What is this? This expression is nothing but the string. This is nothing but a string. Okay. Now what happens? This once we have split this expression using this delimiters, these are called as delimiters. So depending on which the string is split, then we get an array of string. So this all are converted into different string. So this 3 is converted into a string 3. Then there is a space string. Okay, there is a empty space, empty string, or string having a space. Then there is this plus string. Well, actually, plus is taken as delimiter, right? So it is no, we don't consider it as as, but let it be. Here it is. We get this as a part of the separated string, right? So then we have again space. They consider that as single space only, okay? And then we have number 4. So this is the string array that we get on what? On split. Okay. This is basically what? This is the string, actual string, inputted expression string. Okay, this is the expression string entered by user, which is splitted, and on split it becomes an array of about 5 different strings. Although each one is a single character, it is stored as a string. So you see what we do, we say operands. Now this array is given the name as what? As operands. Okay, now this operands of 0 is nothing but this part. This is index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, this is index 3, and this is index 4. Okay, so when we say operands of 0, okay, this means this number 3. So that number 3 is given to this A. This number 3 is given to A. Okay, but how is it given? That is considered to be string, right? So we have to do what? We have to parse it. So we parse it. You're saying double dot parse double. So this 3.0, 3 is converted into 3. The string that is 3, having character as 3, is converted into double value 3.0 and is assigned to what? A. Similarly, when you say operands 1, okay. Now see what happens over here is basically, check this out. Here, okay, since we are splitting based on the this thing, this will not consider the spaces and even this plus. So these parts are not considered. So actual array is something like this only. You have the string array as 3 and as 4. Okay. So that 3.0 is given to A and 4.0 is given to B. Okay. So what happens over here? Yes. What happens over here? Here, basically, when the user enters, when we say that please enter a valid expression, and we read the input, and let's suppose that the user has entered an expression like this, 3 plus 4. Okay, so we print that expression, and then we define variables, 3 different variables. This first A is used for this operand. This B is used for this operand, and the addition, actual addition, will be stored into this particular into this particular answer, and this plus is being taken as a separate operator, right? And that operator is being put over here in op, character op. How do we do that? Check this out. So when we say expression dot split using this delimiter, right? So it has got, the expression is string 3 plus 4. This is a string, right? So if we split it on plus, it will generate two operands, this and this. Okay, now here the plus is taken as a delimiter. So what do we get? We get a string 3 and a string 4. Okay, and we get an array. We get this in the form of what? An array. When basically this string, what is this? This is a string expression. And this is a string expression. And that is done what? That is split. That is basically split. So when you split it, you get this particular array, right? And so operands of 0, this array name is what? OP, R, and DS. OP, R, and DS, right? And so operands of 0 is nothing but this 3, and then operands of 1 is nothing but this 4. So this 3 and 4 are passed into value double and given to variable A and variable B. Okay, and you can see operands of 0 dot length, right? We use what? We use the 0th operand's length. So here it is, 0th operand is this 3 string, 3 not a number but 3 as a string. So that is the length 1. So 1 is being used, and we say expression at char at 1. So here see the index starts with 0 and then 1. So this is the character at 1. This plus is the char at location. This is what? The plus is the char at location 1. Okay. So that plus is taken where? That plus is taken as an operand. Sorry, as an operator. So value A and B are what? These are nothing but the numbers or the operands which were the part of the string, and OP is what? It's the operator which was also the part of the string, original string, right? So we are not doing anything on the original string. Original string is as it is. This EXP string is as it is, right? This EXP, what is EXP? EXP value is 3 plus 4. That is as it is. That 3 plus 4 string is split and you get an operands array. And out of that array, you use this first and second element and parse it into double variables. And then you use this length of this first one to get the location of what? Of the operator, of this particular operator. From the same original expression string exp.char@. So we get a particular character at their location. Okay, and once we have got the character, what do we do? Check this out. Once we have got the character, right? So then we say switch op, and in this switch case, we start with case plus, or maybe minus, or multiply, or divide. So these are what? These are the characters that op might have. These are the probable characters that op might have, right? And depending on that character matching, you do the operation. You say answer equal to a plus b, or a minus b, or a into b, or a divided by b, and then you print the answer. Okay. So check this out. If I run this program, you'll get to see that suppose I enter 3 plus 4. It gives answer 7. I again run this particular program and I say please enter a valid expression. I say 13 plus 5. So it gives me 18. How does it give you 18? Check this out. If I use a 2-digit number, then also it works. If I again use the same program and say 13 minus 3. Now here we are using what? Minus also and 2 numbers also. Then also it is giving us correct answer. And suppose Suppose if we use the same program and when we say 13 space minus 3, this also will give you correct answer. You see, we have put the expression with lots of spaces, still it gave us correct answer. How is this possible? Yes? Let me show you how is this possible. So see, check this out. When we say enter valid expression and we enter the expression as a string, so what happens is when basically we split this expression using this statement. So suppose I have entered 13 space minus space 3. What will this do? This is nothing but currently it is a string, right? So this is 13 minus 3. This is a string, right? So this string is split into what? Into the array of strings. So one is this particular string that you have 13 as well, not even 13, you have this, check this out. This actually generates the string as like this 13 space and then double quotes, and the next string is space and 3. Okay, so check this out. There is a space over here after 13 and there is a space over here after 3. So this space goes into the first group and the second space goes into the second group. Understand? This is how the string is split. Okay, this 13 has a space with it and the 3 has got also one space with it. So if you see the count of size of this length of this here, the length is equal to what? 3, because 1, 3 and space are there, right? And if you count over here, what is it? Here the length is equal to 2. Why? Because you have a space and number 3. Here you had 1, 3 and space. Understand? So this is what the length is. So depending on the length, what do we do? Check this out. First we use this operand 0 and 1. We parse it to be number. So this 13 is converted into 13.0 and this 3 is converted into 3.0, right? And when it's expression caret, how do you access it from the original string? So check this out. When it's operands of 0 dot length, what is the length of this 13 of this operands of 0? The length of this is, here the length is equal to 3. So if we consider this particular string, okay, if we consider that string again, 13 space minus 3, right? So it starts like this. Character at particular location 3. So it starts with 0, 1, 2, and the location number 3. So this is the location number 3, and there we have what? The operator. So that operator is given to the character OP. That is given to character OP. And now that character OP is used in the switch case statement to compare it with different cases, which compares it with different characters, right? And so that's why you get the answer properly. Okay, understand? So as many spaces we put over here, that does not matter. We can put a number of spaces, that would not matter. So if we say 55, or let's say 555 space double space minus 55, and I enter, and you get a perfect answer of this 555 minus 55, which is this. So that's the best part. Okay. Okay, so that was practical number 13. Any doubt in this? Please do let me know. Yes? Any doubt in this practical number 13? Please do let me know. We did practical number 2 and practical number 12 and practical number 13. 12 was about using random numbers. Okay, using random object to generate the random numbers. And 13 was basically using valid expression and reading a valid expression. And that expression also was limited to what? Was limited to only two operands. So three, it was like A operator B, where A and B are operands, right? And operator is there in between. You could not use the same program for something like this. A plus B is okay, but you cannot use the same program for something like this. A plus B plus C. No, you cannot use it. Right? You cannot use it like this. You cannot use three operators. Only this expression can be run on this particular program. Okay. So for running this kind of expression, you have to make a new program. As simple as that. Okay. Okay. So any doubt, please do let me know. Yes. Okay. So I'll stop the recording, and if you have any doubt or issue, you can ask me. Right.